my craft for many years. For the last 43 years I've spent at this anvil. Generations of my family, my father, his father before them, have forged metal. I think between all of us we've probably made almost everything there is to make out of metal, and for almost every purpose. At least I thought so until today. See, what I'm doing right now is I'm making a nail. It's simple enough. You simply heat the metal until it's glowing hot. Good blacksmith knows when it's hot enough because it glows the same color orange as the sun just as it slips into the earth. And then you simply shape it with the hammer against the anvil until it's straight. I've made a lot of nails in my life, but never until today have I been asked to make a nail to drive through human flesh. I was lighting my forge this morning when a soldier from the Roman Guard came by. He came in and told me he had a special request. I thought maybe he had seen the fancy breastplate I'd made for another soldier. He said no, it was something more simple. He needed 3 nails. That's easy enough. I handed him 3 nails I'd made yesterday. He said they weren't long enough. I asked him, what do you need nails that are so long for? He told me that they were planning an execution by crucifixion later this morning of a very unusual and special criminal. And they weren't going to just tie his arms and feet to the cross the way they usually do. Are you familiar with execution by crucifixion? Maybe before I go on, I should explain a little bit. The way it's done is the criminal is tied hands and feet to a cross, and then he's in order to breathe, he has to push up with his feet, and you have to lift up with his arms to get his chest up off the cross and breathe. After a while, he gets tired, and he can't lift up anymore, and he can't push up with his feet anymore. And then he dies by suffocation. Usually takes about 3 days. But today, this criminal, this man, the guard told me they were planning to drive nails through his hands and through his feet. What had he done, I said, to deserve this torture? And you know what the soldier said to me? He said, I'm not certain. I said, you're not certain? You're going to drive nails through a man's body and you don't even know why? He said it had something to do with the man saying he was God or the Son of God or something like that. It didn't make much sense. And then I started thinking, well, he told me that the man had been stirring up problems among the Jews, his own people. And I thought that made a little more sense. There has been a lot of unrest lately, and it made sense for the Romans to execute a man who was stirring up trouble with the Jews. Maybe one leader could be executed, and that would make sure none of the rest followed him. I asked him, is this man plotting against Rome? And he said no, he wasn't. It was just this business about being the Son of God. Well, we talked about that for a while. You know, the Jewish people are a proud people. They've never liked living in a Roman occupation. And particularly here in Jerusalem, the Roman law interferes with their religious way of life. I'd even heard that there was a group of militant gypsies running around saying they were going to take back the land that the Lord had given them or some such thing. I mentioned to the soldier I'd also heard of a man from Galilee who apparently had begun to gather quite a following around him, a Jew. They called him a rabbi. I think that means teacher. He was leading some sort of peace movement, apparently, and lots of people came to hear what he had to say. I had heard that he had said a lot of bad things about the Roman rule, but that he seemed to be reserving most of his criticism for the leaders of his own religion, saying that they were more interested in themselves than they were in God. I asked the soldier if perhaps this was the man that they were executing, and he said he didn't know, he wasn't sure. He did say that this man didn't seem like much of a leader, because at his trial, almost everyone there was against him, and everyone seemed to be satisfied with the outcome of the trial. After the soldier left, I got to thinking, if this rabbi that I was thinking about, this is the one who's being executed, why? I've heard this rabbi speak of the kingdom of God, which is interesting. I know I don't look like a philosopher, but I have a lot of time. I sit and pound metal all day. I can think about things like this. And apparently he was talking about this kingdom that people can live in while they world too. And that he says part of the kingdom, that we become part of the kingdom by loving our enemies and giving to the poor and believing in God. How is that a justification for execution? If it is this man from Galilee that they're killing today, they must be just as clueless about what they're doing and why as this guard was. If it is the man from Galilee, I wonder what he thinks of the people who are doing this to him. My guess is he's given up the peace movement, and that he's cursing them, all of them. And he'll curse them all the way to the cross, and even, I'm certain, to